What's up, YouTube? Mike from Mass here, Mass Aquariums, and in tonight's video, I'm going to give you a little update on the 40-gallon reef, 40 breeder reef aquarium. No sump, no skimmer, pretty much no nothing but a hang-on back filter with some filter floss, Chemi-Pure Blue, and a poly filter pad. And as of recent, I would say over the last 6 months, I've been skipping the poly filter pad completely. But the reason why I'm shooting this video is it's coming up on 5 years just about on this tank, and I've been getting a lot of comments on a lot of my other like freshwater videos and updates and what I'm doing, and everybody's been asking for me to give an update on this video, and a lot of people have been asking that they are wanting to start up their own reef tank this winter, seeing as winter's a lot of time where you do a lot of fish tank stuff, you're in the house, sort of trapped if you don't do a lot of ice fishing or skiing or splitting firewood, all sorts of fun stuff I like to do outside, especially if you're in the Northeast or a cold place, Canada, north of United States out west. And so I've been getting a ton of comments on, can I shoot an update, because they've recently come across some of my videos and were skeptical about starting a reef tank because of all the equipment and the expenses and yada, yada, yada. So I figured I'd give you a quick update on this tank and let my viewers and new hobbyists that are just getting into the saltwater world that you can do it. It is not as difficult as everybody makes it seem, and you do not need a lot of equipment. You just need patience, and you need to let your tank settle. You need good maintenance. You need to scrape the glass. You need to do your water changes. And what's more important is the type of corals that you're going to put in your tank. If you're running a bare minimum tank like I am with just a Mars Aqua LED light and a hang-on back filter with your wave maker, you need corals that are going to be able to take the minimum. See, I love a little hawkfish puppy dog. He usually comes down here and actually feeds my goby, which is just about to turn 5. He's the oldest fish in the tank, who has made his home underneath this brain coral, which, by the way, when I got it, was about the size of a quarter. Now it looks like about almost the size of a small personal pizza. That thing's growing like crazy. I love it. But yeah, I've been getting tons of comments on a lot of my other videos that they've recently come across my channel and seen that I've been able to have a successful reef tank without all the fancy equipment, without the fancy lights, without the fancy dosing pumps and the skimmers and the calcium reactors and CO2 and all this stuff. Yes, you can have all that stuff. You can fully automate your tank where basically you don't have to touch it. But I have always been on the side of keeping it simple, with just water changes, and see what I can get away with. And that's the biggest challenge when you start your tank, is what can you get away with? How many days can you go without a water change? What equipment do you need? What equipment don't you need? Do you want it self-automated, or do you want to be involved in your tank? And I've always been involved in my tank, and as Rico likes to say as well as me, it's more of an eye test. I don't test my water unless something's drastically going wrong that I can't visually see. I don't test for magnesium. I don't test for calcium. I don't really even test the salinity unless, obviously I test the salinity of the water I'm putting in, but unless something's visually wrong with my tank and it's just about, I look at it every day when I feed, there's no reason for me to test. And, once you're getting into the hobby, it's a good habit to get into, to start testing, to see what your ranges are, but it's not completely necessary as far as I'm concerned. It's about trial and error, and it's about patience. This tank is just about 5 years old. It's a 40 breeder. Like I said, it's running on a AquaClear 70 hang-on back with filter floss, a bag of Chemi-Pure Blue, and occasionally a poly filter pad. That is it. I have a wave maker, RW4 on the left, and I have just a small high door circulation pump on the right, just to give it a little bit more flow. Sometimes I turn the flow up, sometimes I turn it down. It's all depending on what the tank looks like. But that is it. and I do a water change now every 14 to 21 days. I do 5 to 7 gallons. All depends on what I have, folks. It's really not anything scientific. If I've got a bunch of 5-gallon buckets, I'll do like a 5.5, and then I'll do the other 2.5 on my 13-gallon. Sometimes I just have a 5-gallon bucket left, and I'll just do 5 gallons as long as I'm trying to stay consistent and I'm not letting it get out of control. A lot of times, if I've noticed that the glass is building up a lot of algae, it's because my cleanup crew is super old, like 6, 8, even a year. It's really good to replenish your cleanup crew, and you can always tell when you need to throw a new batch of cleanup crew in the tank. And for me, it's right around 8 to 10 months when you got to like re-up with some snails and so on and so forth, some hermit crabs, and just see what goes on. That's really the gist of it. For everybody who follows my channel, you know all this, you've seen it, you've been around. For new people to my channel and the folks that have been asking all these questions, and I've been getting probably 50 to 75% of my questions lately are asking me to shoot a quick update on the 40-gallon breeder reef tank, and it's just about 5 years, so I figured I might as well do it. I'm hoping to get a few more videos out on a more regular basis with the winter rolling around and soccer dying down a bit, and just having some more time on my tanks. We've gone through some recent changes business-wise with a few things, so I will be having a lot more time to work on my tanks, maybe set up a few tanks, maybe take down a few tanks, maybe combine a few tanks. I really don't know right now, but I do have a few plans in the works. My newest tank upstairs that I recently took down, that planted tank, the flower horn's doing amazing. But let's just do some close-ups here and get through this update, and then we'll have some more videos coming out soon. This is the newest member of the tank. He has been in here for a few months now, and it's a little Scooter Bleeny. He does great. My current stock list is really low, and they're all particular of what fish come in the tank. I've tried several different kinds of fish over the years, and they seem to beat up on them, chase them out, or it's just not working. But the 2 clownfish, this coral hopping hawkfish, and then of course Mr. Grumpy Face down in there are the fish that have been in here pretty much from the start. You know, I do have some shrimp lying around. I got a shrimp buries himself underneath here. I got the skunk shrimp, but really it's a low stock tank as far as bio load with the fish, and it's just really a lot of soft corals, hammers, GSP. I do have a few LPS. This mushroom I got from my buddy Jordan Watkins I've had forever, and it's just really, really pretty. I really hope I never lose it. It was about the size of a dime. It has grown quite a bit, but I haven't really added a whole lot in this tank over the last couple of years. Just sort of, if I see like a nice frag, or I get one from a buddy that I really think will do good in the tank, I throw it in there. Otherwise, it's just really like self-sufficient, very nice looking tank. I let it take care of itself, come down every once in a while and pull up a seat and just chillax, crack a beer, and watch the tank for a half hour. But this tank is really one of my favorite tanks out of all my tanks. I really do love all my tanks, but this one is just really came out great, and I'm really happy with it. So I will cut it right there. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free. I do answer all my comments. Hit the subscription button to subscribe. Hit that bell and you'll get notifications. I'd like to thank everybody who watched. And as always, this is Mike from Mass. I'm out.